These space facts will change how you see everything. Space is only 100 kilometers or 62 miles above us, which probably means you live closer to space than your actual state line, as well as the fact that if you could drive there, you'd be there in less than an hour. The ISS space station is only about 400 kilometers or 250 miles above us, which is still probably closer than your closest state line. Traveling to Pluto by plane would take approximately 800 years, given Pluto's average distance of 3.67 billion miles from Earth. A day on Venus is 243 Earth days, while a year on Venus is 225 Earth days, meaning a day is longer than a year. Mars experiences the largest dust storms in the solar system, which can last for months and cover the entire planet at once. You can fit more than 1 million Earths inside of the sun, and this is the visualization of those Earths being put into the sun. This is what the Earth looks like compared to the Great Red Spot on Jupiter. If Earth was a basketball, to scale, the moon would be a tennis ball. It would orbit around 7.5 meters away, which is a lot farther than most people think. You've seen more of the surface of the moon with your own eyes than you have of Earth. This is what Mount Olympus Mons on Mars looks like compared to the biggest mountains on Earth. And this is how big it is compared to the entirety of Mars. This is what the sun looks like now, and this is what the sun will look like in 8 billion years from now. There is a solar system that is shaped like a question mark. Make sure to click subscribe so you see more of these in the future. If the sun were scaled down to the size of a white blood cell, the Milky Way would be the size of the continental United States. Pluto is actually smaller than Russia. Australia is also wider than the moon. The ashes of Clyde Tombaugh, the man who discovered Pluto in 1930, are aboard the New Horizons spacecraft and passed by Pluto in 2015. Antarctica was discovered on November 17th, 1820, just 39 years after the discovery of the planet Uranus. If you're a millennial like me, you were definitely born closer to the moon landing than today. Dark matter is responsible for 85% of the gravity in the universe, and we have no idea how it works. This was the first ever illustration of a black hole in 1978. This is a computer simulation of a black hole from 2019. This is a super detailed simulation of a black hole from 2019. This is the first real image of a black hole in 2019. This is an updated image of a black hole's swirling magnetic field from 2021. The hottest temperature ever recorded in the universe happened here on Earth at the CERN Hadron Super Collider, 4 trillion degrees Celsius. The sun accounts for more than 99.86% of the total mass in our entire solar system. Gravity has an infinite range, with its strength weakening as distance increases, but never reaching zero. That means that right now, everything in the universe with any mass at all is pulling on you. This is what a hurricane looks like from space. There is a planet out there that is practically a flaming ball of ice at all times. If outer space was the same size as the ocean, we've only searched one glass of water's worth compared to the rest of the ocean. Imagine trying to figure out if fish exist from your glass of water that you're basing your answer on. If you were able to butt up all the planets in the solar system side by side in a row, they would just be about the perfect fit between the Earth and the moon. We very recently discovered a galaxy without dark matter, 65 million light years away. If you produce a sound louder than 1100 decibels, you can create a black hole strong enough to destroy the entire galaxy. There is a planet 150 light years away from Earth that orbits a triple star system, meaning everything on this planet experiences 3 different sunsets, 3 shadows, and multiple eclipses. The sun is 400 times larger than the moon, but the moon is 400 times closer to Earth, which makes it the perfect math equation for eclipses to happen. According to new estimates, there may be as many as 1 Earth-like planet for every 5 sun-like stars in the Milky Way galaxy. Since the galaxy has 400 billion stars and 7% of these stars are like our sun, that equals around 6 billion Earth-like planets just in our galaxy alone. This is a picture of a volcanic eruption that was taken from space. This is a picture of a solar eclipse taken from space. This is what a neutron star, which is a star with a very small radius but very high density, looks like compared to New York City. If 2 neutron stars run into each other, this creates a black hole. A meteorite could be less than a mile wide and still wipe out all of us. An astronaut suffering from decompression means that the moisture and oxygen in their body gets ripped out, causing their body to swell up and explode in an instant. This is how many Earths are stacked up against one solar flare burst from the sun. Footprints that have been left on the moon will stay there for at least 100 million years. If two pieces of metal touch in space, they will fuse together. If you cry in space, your tears might float around you. More energy from the sun hits Earth every hour than humans use in an entire year collectively. There's an estimated 500,000 space debris floating around the Earth right now. We have discovered a planet where the temperature can reach 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit and can rain molten glass horizontally at 4,500 miles per hour. Maybe the living expenses will be cheaper there. The International Space Station is the third brightest object in the sky after the sun and the moon. We're close to having 10,000 active satellites in our orbit. The Kessler effect is the theory that a single destructive event in low Earth orbit could create a cascade where satellites break up into tiny fragments, taking out other satellites, breaking up into smaller fragments, and so on until the Earth is completely surrounded by a massive cloud of tiny flying death shrapnel, which would make leaving this planet almost impossible. This video is crazy. Did you hit the subscribe button? Do it. There's a massive water vapor that's floating in space that's at least 140 trillion times larger than all the water in the Earth's oceans combined, and 100,000 times larger than the sun. The first photograph of Earth from space was taken by a V-2 rocket in 1946 at an altitude of 65 miles, marking a pivotal moment in space exploration. It snows metal on the planet Venus. The Milky Way galaxy is being pulled towards a mysterious area in space called the Great Attractor. We don't know anything about it, basically. The average distance between asteroids in the asteroid belt is twice the distance between the Earth and the moon. Astronauts are required to have good teeth in order to go to space due to the strong acceleration forces. Astronauts will also lose bone density while they're in space. Due to the extreme pressure and weather conditions, it literally rains diamonds on Neptune and Uranus. Space has a smell. Astronauts have described the smell of space like gunpowder, burnt almond cookies, pleasantly metallic, welding, and even steak. However, the majority of the universe will probably smell like rotten eggs due to the amount of ammonia and sulfur. The dinosaurs technically lived on the other side of the galaxy. This is because the sun orbits the galaxy every 230 million years. So about 115 million years ago, the Earth was on the other side of the galaxy from where we are now. Dinosaurs became the dominant land animal around 200 million years ago and died 65 million years ago, meaning they lasted through about 2/3 of a full solar orbit, but spent much of that time on the far side of the galaxy from us. It is entirely possible to see the Milky Way, but light pollution has made that a rare occurrence for us. In the 1990s, there was a massive power outage in California, and the residents of Los Angeles actually began to worry about the strange clouds that they saw overhead. As it turns out, they were actually seeing the Milky Way for the first time. Spaceships don't accelerate enough to actually get to the moon, just enough for the moon's gravitational influence to pull it more than the Earth's. The ship is actually slowing down from the moment the engines are turned off, as the Earth's gravity is like a brake. Once they get to the point where the moon's influence is greater than the Earth's, the ship starts to accelerate faster towards the moon. Big Bird almost joined NASA's Challenger mission to encourage kids to get more interested in space. Had the plan followed through, millions of kids would have watched Big Bird and the spacecraft explode on national television. Space's surface is the largest of all the keys on a computer keyboard. I hope by now that if you're watching this video all the way to the end, that you are subscribing if you're on YouTube, or following on all the other platforms, basically, wherever you're seeing this. And if you're seeing this on one platform, know that I am on all the platforms, and I post different kinds of content across them, so you can go follow them all. Bye.